She was the love of my life, and our dreams complemented each other. My dream was to stay in the corporate world and walk up the ladder until I get to the top. Her dream was to have a shop that sells women merchandise like lotions, clothes, wig, makeup tools, and other things women would like to spend money on. When I met her, she had already started doing it on a smaller scale. She didn't have a shop, so she sells her items mostly online and sometimes peddling them around like door-to-door salesperson. She sold to friends and family, sometimes on credit. Later, she realized that selling things to family on credit is the same as giving bananas to monkeys. They take and run away without paying for it. So she stopped selling to family and instead concentrated on friends and strangers. When I met her, I decided to help her achieve her dreams so she could be self-dependent. She had already built the foundation and network, so it was easier to continue from there. She got a shop and we paid for it. It cost me my savings to be able to provide that financial assistance. But what's love without sacrifice of such nature? I was doing it for her, but I was always doing it for our future. We would marry someday and everything we had hustled for while dating would become our legacy and profit for us. After the shop was secured, we started getting the items one by one, little by little. A year and a half later, the shop was fully ready for her to start operation. She was no longer moving from place to place, dealing with customers. Now they come to her. She had more room to store her merchandise. She was more relaxed than before. We had more time to spend with each other. 2 years after, her shop was doing well. She rented an account every weekend and made lots of profit. We talked about expansion and talked about having branches. One day she said, "A year from now, I want to be traveling to China and Dubai to buy my own things. I learned it's cheaper that way." I said, "With God on our side, everything will work for good." We started talking about marriage. She was hyped about it, and I was happy she was happy about marriage. We had come very far. 5 years in our relationship. We have gone through troubles and had conquered. We were so sure that we were meant for each other. She called me one day and told me, "I have a great news to share. A man came to my shop and we talked. His name is Greg. He has his own international export and import agency with network of wholesalers in China, Brazil, and even Dubai. He is even ready to give me phone numbers and location of trustworthy wholesalers I could buy for cents on a dollar." It's happy news, but I was measured in my happiness. I said, "Great. What does he want in return for the help he's going to offer?" She answered gleefully, "Nothing. He just wants to help." I responded that men don't just want to help. It's not in our DNA. My father helped my mom to carry loads because my mother was suffering. He said, "I just want to help." When I raised concerns, she called me jealous. When I told her I couldn't trust the man's help, she told me to trust her instead. I told her that I want to be present during any dealings with him, so I will be sure that she's not in any danger. She responded that, "I am a grown woman. I know danger when I see one. Look how far we have come. Do you think I would turn my back on you? Let's give him a try. When I see a snare, I would jump before it goes off." She closed from work and told me everything the man had told her. She would conclude, "You see, he's not like that kind of man, you know? He wants to help." I asked one day, "Does he know about me?" She said, "Oh yeah, he knows you. I told him about you from day one. If you're ready, we can meet him one day." I was at the shop when he came around in his white Mercedes-Benz. He stepped out wearing a very expensive clothes and Rolex watch that looks like it cost a lot of money. His wedding ring gleamed as he walked towards the shop. He smiled when he saw me. The introduction went like this: "Victor, meet Greg. He's the friend I told you about." He stretched his hand and we shook hands. After that, the conversation didn't include me. They laughed and talked about nothing meaningful. When they didn't want me to hear something, their voices went low. Anger was eating me up. but I tried to keep my composure until he was gone. I asked, "What was that about? Why did you introduce me to him as a friend? He knows you're my boyfriend already. There was no need bringing all that up again. He knows I'm your boyfriend, but I don't know he knows I'm your boyfriend. Victor, what is this all about? Why don't you drop the jealousy so we can get things going? Drop it. It's not healthy." Anytime I question her about my concern, she would accuse me of being jealous. She stopped talking to me about Greg. I had asked her about him before she gave me a lousy answer like, "He's there." It bothered me, but there was nothing I could do. One morning, she sent me a text message. "I am traveling. I will be back in a week time." I called her. "You're traveling to where? When are you going, and why didn't we discuss it before?" She said, "It's because of the plenty of questions. That's why I didn't want to tell you when I want to do something. Always asking plenty of questions." I said calmly, "You are my girlfriend. It is right that I know about your movement before they happen." She said, "I am traveling. When I return, you will know where I went." I said, "Really?" And she said, "Yes." 3 days later, a friend of mine sent me pictures of my girlfriend and said, "Your girl is chilling. You guys are making a lot of money now." The picture had a foreign background. It looks Dubai-ish than China. I asked my friend, "Where did you get this photo?" He said, "It's on her status." I said, Oh, I forgot she posted it." I said that just to hide from the shame of not knowing the whereabouts of my girlfriend until an outsider pointed it out to me. I went on her status to check, and I didn't see anything. Your guess is as good as mine. I called, and the feedback tone I got was a foreign vibe to me. She didn't pick, but later sent me a message telling me she saw my missed call. I asked her, "Where are you?" She said, "I'm in Dubai." I asked, "Do I mean anything to you at all?" She answered, "Please don't spoil my mood. Must you be negative about every good thing that's happening in my life? Every loser knows the point where they started losing. It's not magic. You just knew it. If they carry on just because they ought to, or the rule of the game requires them to finish it though they are losing." I knew I had lost it. I have dated long enough to know the difference. When she peddled her merchandise in her handbag, she never talked back at me. Not once. Now she tells me not to rain on her parade because she's on a high place where she receives salutes from marching soldiers. When she came back, I didn't ask questions or interrogate her decisions. She apologized for not telling me. She advised me to trust her so she could open up to me. I assured her that I'm okay and would do my best to support everything that she does. I went through her phone. I read the message, but I didn't see anything between her and Greg. I went through her pictures. She was in Dubai with Greg. They had a lot of pictures together in swimsuits. They were drinking fancy drinks that had tiny umbrellas stuck in the middle. I said, "So because I can't afford the fancy trips where you get drinks with tiny umbrellas, that's why this girl is treating me this way." I picked Greg's number from her phone. I didn't even know what I was going to do with the number, but I picked the number anyway. I thought of calling him and warning him to stay away from my girlfriend, but it sounded defeated. Plus, I knew it wasn't going to yield any result. For a whole week, I couldn't sleep. My heart was on fire, and the fire was raging through my intestine. I said to myself, Greg is married, right? I have to find his wife. His WhatsApp has his full name, so I checked it out on Facebook. He was there but hadn't posted in years. I went through his photos and saw him tagged in a photo where he was on a holiday with his family, 3 adorable kids, and a wife who didn't look like a woman a man would cheat on. I sent her a hi, and she didn't respond. 3 days later, I sent one of the Dubai photos to her and wrote, "I want to talk to you about your husband." It took me a week before I got a response from her. She said, "I'm not usually on this app, so I just saw your message. Please call me on this number and let's talk." My message was simple. I said, "Your husband has been going after my girlfriend. The pictures I sent you was the 2 of them in Dubai. Your husband has opened a very big shop for her around town and goes there every evening after work." She asked, "Can you show me where the shop is?" I said, "I can, why not?" She asked, "Can you send me all the photos you have of them?" I pushed everything I had to her. She said, "Thank you." One afternoon, the woman went to the shopping mall to give a little bit of display in front of her customers. The display drew in her neighbors, who usually love to discuss things of such nature. It wasn't long before crowds of people started gathering to witness the commotion. I wasn't there, so I can't say much about what happened. The woman later spoke to me and told me what happened there that day. She said, "I'm not done with her yet. She likes married men. That's okay. She can keep my husband and keep whatever that comes along with him." It got to a point where I felt bad for being the reason, but hey, we all deserve what comes to us. The following day in the afternoon, my ex-girlfriend called and insulted the hell out of me. She screamed, "So what did you gain after doing all that? Enemy of progress. You can't even stand to see me shine. So you went about peddling lies about me. Show me what you gained." I told her to get lost and never call me back again. Our 5-year-old relationship got severed because of her greed. She was too embarrassed she couldn't even go back to her shop again. Maybe it was because of the woman's threat. She threatened to follow her everywhere until the world knows about her. She threatened to give her bad reviews and let all her customers know what kind of person she is. At the moment, she is still hiding from the man's wife, while her business suffers. We used to talk about growing the business and having branches. Now she would have to start from square one because some of her customers left her. As for the man she cheated with, according to the wife, she said she's now separated from her husband and they may be going through a divorce soon. As for my ex-girlfriend, I am not sure this would bring her down because she is a fighter, but her reputation has been dragged through the mud and it will take years to get back to where she was. Now I know she just used me for her financial gain, but eventually karma